Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Tafaribtm. Um, as you can see, I'm in my tent again. Uh, I'm here today to bring you part one of Set the Captives Free. Rabbit hole I jumped into, so thought I'd share it with you. Until I get used to just speaking to the camera, I will be reading stuff because I don't want to leave things out or not bring them to you in order. And so, with that being said, um, part one of Set the Captives Free. In order to receive the mind and or the word of the Most High, you must be willing to relinquish idealizing and or idolizing scripture, any scripture. All religions, faiths, tribal practices, folklore, and fables subscribe to an idea of holy versus evil, dark versus light, good versus bad, the law of opposites. The catalyst that sent me down this particular rabbit hole was the support of the ADOS movement, right? American Descendants of Slavery. And in an article about a tourist attempting to connect with the past, at the end of his tour, he encountered a spell recitation that was posted, um, that the tour guide asserted the captives were compelled to recite before boarding the ships. So there was a sign that said the original spot, slaves spiritual attenuation spell or attenuation well. And at this well is where the captives were forced to drink water and forget themselves. So the curse, uh, the recitation that was uh, for the slaves to repeat, the captives to repeat, said, I am leaving this land. My spirit leave with me. I shall not come back now. My shackles do not break. It is the shackles that hold the ship down. And by that, I assume they mean the avatar, the vessel that we're in, the energetic or spiritual body. My ancestors bear me witness. I shall not return. This land shall depart. My soul do not revolt. My spirit go go along with me. I depart to that land unknown. I shall not return. So this is a recitation that they claim the tour guide said that the captives were compelled to repeat, which is spell casting. So it sounds like a spell to me. So this article that I read uh, was called Badagry, a walk through the slave route by Ahoma Kanu, Ahaomakanu. So after reading this article, it changed some parts of my worldview and gave me a clarity that had evaded me during my search for answers for a long time. You can find this article at Coast, COAST .iw learn LEARN.org. Coast.iwlearn.org. After reading this incantation, The American descendant of slave survivors' apathy that we experience today became crystal clear. But this wasn't the biggest discovery for me. It was finding additional information concerning the physical, spiritual, energetic, robbing, raping, and sacrificing and or killing of all humanity that kind of shook me. So, scientifically, we know ancestor baggage, well, they don't put it this way scientifically, but ancestor baggage and gifts or curses are passed through the mother line because the mother is born with the family eggs. So a woman, when a woman is born, she has all the eggs for the children that she's going to birth, right? And because we are our ancestors and we're reborn time and time again in different vessels and in different families, but certain parts of our DNA carry lineage, right? And so, because of how slavery probably everywhere, but specifically in America, the way they bred slaves, the admixture was so that we're carrying, I would imagine, some DNAs that would have normally never made it to or been mixed in people groups, right? So, although I've always had my suspicions concerning organized religions, secret societies, Greek letter organizations, cultural and tribal initiate magic work, traditional African spirituality, um, I wasn't prepared for what I found. One, these baneful practices are still prevalent today and is a main driver of current human trafficking and sex slave work. There are practitioners still doing domination spells, destiny swapping, karmic transference, love spells, and psychic attacks. There are astral travelers that spy and steal from your Akashic records and do subconscious work to keep you stuck in a time and or experience loop that they can benefit from. Those that have ears to hear, let them hear. And the rest of y'all, I don't know what to tell you. I am a spiritual being having a human experience, and so I'm not limited in my thinking in just this physical realm. I'll discuss MK Ultra and other government programs at a later date. Right now, I want those walking in love and light or doing the work to get here to know how their family, friends, co workers, neighbors, and community organizations or those connected to them may be harvesting or stagnating their forward movement. Knowing is half the battle. There have been journalists, writers, academics that have done extensive investigation on this type of subject matter. So, this isn't new information. It's just stuff that I came across as I was jumping down a rabbit hole, and I thought I'd bring it to the public or to people who may not be aware. There have been, I know I'm a late bloomer, so I'm sure there's lots of people who do know, but I'm sure I'm not the only late bloomer either. There have been extensive inquiries, interviews, academic studies, and investigations. For those that know there is a physical and spiritual and or energetic reality, you will receive this on a different frequency than those that are happily a part of this world. John 17:14 through 26 explains to us that we are in this world, but we're not of this world. Scripture says the Most High gave people dominion over the over the creations of the earth. Certain people and groups designated certain people, groups, and women as lesser beings, so they could spiritually and corporeally justify dominion over them. This adulteration of Scripture and basic human decency has brought us to this place on earth of evil and debauchery in all aspects. Part of the American descendant of slave survivor discussion was around an article in the New Yorker by Adeobi Trisha Nuwabani from July 2018 called My Great Grandfather, the Nigerian Slave Trader. And so it struck me when I read her name that we have Nuwabians here. Now I know her name is Nuwabani, but they only changed around the I and A in Nuwabian. Uh, and then it is a well known fact that the Moorish nation, with all those factions, and the Nuwabians have factions too. And I have to do more research to learn all the specifics of what they believe and how they move. But this Nigerian woman with that name, and the Moors specifically, are known or were known historically as slave traders, flesh peddlers. So within the article, she discussed the caste system that is still unofficially adhered to. So they believe some people just are supposed to be slaves. And although the official government does not say that, they still practice it culturally. Side note, consider this when you think about Vice President Kamala Harris, who is a Brahmin Indian, and they also have an unofficial caste system. The writer of the article spoke of the family inheritance and pride she has in her family's human trafficking, flesh peddling past. So she's proud to come from that. And so the people that here that identify as Moors, who are also flesh peddlers, are they also proud of that past? And the Nuwabians, who carry that same name with one vowel transposed or two vowels switched around, are they of that uh, mindset as well that it is okay to traffic in human flesh? I have questions. I always have questions. I would like to take this moment to remind folks of what I asserted in my previous video. This is only my second upload, so if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the intro video. Um, I asserted in that video All scripture, folklore, secret societies, tribal indoctrinations have been edited and shaped to promote and profit the greedy and powerful, in my opinion. And so, like I said before, um, in that video, when I read scriptures, folklores, fables, watch movies, talk to and interact with people in general, I listen, I think sometimes differently than others because everybody might not always be telling you the truth. And sometimes, not only do people edit themselves, but the powerful have edited almost everything that we read or learn about for their benefit. So you have to be discerning to get to the truth of the matter. And I would like to believe that the truth of the matter is that the Most High, the creator of all things, did not intend for the creation to be this. And so, I'm hoping and praying that those who are workers of love and peace and justice will continue to work for that so that we can have the new the new earth that's not covered in greed and flesh peddling and murder and bloodlust. And with that being said, I'll be back to bring you part two of my findings, and I bid you peace. Thanks for watching.